Mr. Sabet, as far as I understand, Canada has now made marijuana legal, right? Is it fair to say that it hasn't slid into anarchy?
It would be safe to say that. In fact, I spend a lot of my time in British Columbia, and so I could say that it's a beautiful place, but no one predicted it would slid into anarchy. It's just seen some increases in use. It's seen some DUI issues. It has seen the doctors of Ontario and Quebec call for more awareness on high-potency THC given emergency room admissions.
So in other words, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, that part's not okay.
Okay.
That part's not okay.
You know,
but it's not slid into anarchy.
so-
You're right.
And then let me just say, with respect, so I know obviously you oppose legalizing marijuana, and I presume because you believe that it's dangerous and it could result in a lot of deaths, right?
It's one reason.
Yeah. So how many annual deaths for alcohol use is called?
There are about 120,000 annual deaths for alcohol.
120,000. Yeah. We agree with that. That's actually about right. How many deaths does cigarettes have in America every year?
Yeah, still about 400 some thousand. Our legal drugs have many more, kill many more people than our illegal ones, partly because they are fueled by a for-profit addictive industry that I know, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your work on this, fighting big tobacco for so long. Yeah, our legal drugs kill a lot of people because they're advertised and promoted in a system that.
So in other words, though, alcohol and tobacco should be made illegal then.
Well, we're stuck with them because of their cultural, where they've been in
because
our.
Because it's addictive. It's addictive, and there's a lot of profits on that. And then also another question is that how many people have died of aspirin?
A few thousand a year, maybe.
3,000, yeah. Okay. So you were just talking about THA just a few earlier.
Yeah.
So how many people have overdosed from TH death?
Well, overdose, there's a difference between overdose and overdose death. Overdose, we have probably hundreds of thousands of overdoses, not necessarily resulting in death. Tobacco doesn't provide an overdose.
Well, they enter
death.
zero. That's a lot
tobacco
of words.
is also zero.
Zero.
Yes, Senator, tobacco is also zero overdose.
Zero has, and that's my point.
But thousands of deaths from drugs.
Sir. So and it's like, see, you talked about THC, say that this is not my grandpa's weed or whatever. But from my standpoint, it's like, have you know what grain alcohol is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's sold in Pennsylvania state store, and I don't know anyone that walks in and is oh my God, I ended up with grain alcohol instead of this red bottle of red wine. Yeah. People can understand that as well too. Yeah. And again, that seems like it. So, and I don't use marijuana. It could be made tomorrow. It could be made legal tomorrow in Pennsylvania, and I'm not going to. Good. Just like I'm not going to use tobacco. And I'm just saying I support the SAFE Act. But if we just made it legal, we don't have the special SAFE beer act or anything. We just need to make it legal in that. So what I'm saying to you, and I'm going to save you the last minute here, is that I just believe it's freedom. I believe it's a freedom issue for people, and I believe that it's making the legality. And I've been given hundreds and hundreds of people pardons, because of having their lives ruined by having a BS charge. And that's what I was about me. So to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Senator Fetterman. I appreciate the time. I agree with you on pardons and expungement. I agree with you on removing criminal penalties. I wish we could make a distinction between decriminalization and the commercialization and legalization.
That's honestly, I really am glad to find you together. That's a really
no, absolutely. And I also agree with your logic that. We don't have a Safe Beer Act. So let's have an honest debate. We might disagree at the end of the day, but let's have an honest debate on the legalization of drugs, because we're seeing states legalize psychedelics now. There's talk about heroin and cocaine. Are we going to have a Safe Psychedelics Act, a safe cocaine or heroin, a safe fentanyl act? I mean, let's have an honest debate on the merits as opposed to some giveaway for banks. We might disagree, Senator Fetterman, but we can have that honest debate and conversation. So I appreciate that. I'll also say that I think we need to talk, we've talked about the human toll of the industry. We need to talk about the human toll of the use of this super strength THC. The suicides that we're seeing, the schizophrenia and psychosis, we're documenting daily where scientists are on this. The driving crashes, we work with a woman named Corinne Lamarca in your state of Ohio, Mr. Chairman, whose daughter was killed by someone driving high on marijuana, 19-year-old daughter. That's a human story too. And so we shouldn't lock people up. We should not give criminal records. We should not have a incarceration-focused war on drugs. But at the same time, I think we're going to this other extreme of acceptance over normalization, and I think people are getting hurt as a result.
Thanks, Senator Fetterman. Senator Smith.